Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parents. In today's episode, entitled mother and daughter try to scam hotel restaurant. She's at it again. EM threatens co-worker, then tries to get me fired. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Entitled mother and daughter try to scam hotel restaurant. I'm the food and beverage manager at a hotel that's right next to one of the most beautiful mountains in my country. That said, the hotel is literally in the middle of nowhere, a 20 kilometers drive from the nearest main road into town. When it comes to bookings for the restaurant, the bookings are made at reception and the information goes in our booking file, which I check every day. I only get hands-on involved when the booking consists of 20 or more people. Any less than that are left to the restaurant supervisors, as I've started giving them more responsibilities. Now on to the main story. Our reservations manager called me one day, asking me to come take a look at an event that was just booked at our hotel. 25 guests, a woman, our entitled daughter, wants to have a birthday celebration for her mother's 52nd birthday. I think easy peasy. I get in touch with her, send her my wine and drinks list, she chooses what she wants and prepays for the drinks. Easy $7,000. A week goes by, and I get called by RM, the lady has upped her booking to 50 guests now. Immediately, I'm thinking, oh shit. The space she reserved for her celebration can hold maybe 40 people max, and she is bringing a few children as well. I get in touch with her again, explain that we will have to move her to our main restaurant area as the West Wing won't accommodate all her guests. I advise her that she can gladly choose our private venue, which is downstairs, mainly for conferences, but will have to pay an additional $7,000 venue hire. She opted for the restaurant. Side note, I mentioned the conference space as she wanted identical tables and chairs. Our restaurant has a mix of styles, I absolutely hate it, but anyway. I let her know that we'll be fine, and then I ask if she wants to keep her buffet option the same, to finalize what is due to cater for the additional people attending. She lets me know that she wants it the same as her original option, and I must just let her know what else is outstanding so that she can pay it. I'm thinking, great. Awesome client, will be a smooth evening as we are getting the finer details done 2 weeks prior. But, would I be posting here if that were the case? I chat to RM, we reconcile all her pops, and get a final amount due. I call the ED back, and let her know that about $8,000 is due. She is absolutely shocked and asks, but why so much? This is how the conversation went. Me, ma'am, you have only paid $5,000 so far, excluding your drinks. The total amount for the food is $13,250. ED, but I've already paid so much money, why am I being charged so much for the food? Me, you will be having 50 guests, and the buffet option you have chosen is $265 per person, this comes to $13,250. With you already having paid $5,000, this leaves $8,250 due. ED, no, then something wasn't explained to me properly. When I spoke to RM, she said that the buffet option that I chose, I only have to pay for 30 guests and then I can add people on if I want. Me, trying to comprehend what this grown woman has just said to me, ma'am, the buffet option that you chose can only be provided if your booking is 30 people minimum, then every person you add onto that is charged on top of that. ED, no OP, this was not explained to me properly. I literally face-palmed myself. Our RM has been doing her job beautifully for the last 6+ years, so at this point I was highly doubting that she explained it in the way that ED was saying. But I give her the benefit of the doubt, ruling it out to simple miscommunication. We'll get it sorted, right? Insert Donald Trump wrong meme here. She finally accepts that she has to pay the remaining balance, but gives me the silent treatment after that. Over the next 2 weeks I text her about certain details I just want to confirm, but she never responded. Then the event rolls around yesterday. Supervisor 1 and myself set the restaurant up neatly, move some other tables upstairs to our loft area so that our in-house guests can have a space for dinner without being bothered by the celebration in the main restaurant. Entitled daughter finally shows up at around 11 a.m. with her decorator to get the final touches done. She is very happy with the space, compliments our service, and keeps calling me sweetie, ugh, and then we leave her and the decorating team to do their thing so that we can get the lunch and dinner setups done. I'm nearing an 8-hour shift by the time I can finally sit down and just eat, having worked 12 days in a row now with multiple double shifts, and suffice to say, I am a little cranky. I do my own scheduling. I am working a lot due to being understaffed in the restaurant, so I am there a lot to help my staff. I took one bite of my food, and my office phone rings. I see that it's the front desk's extension. I answer. Receptionist 1, hi OPED, wants to speak to you. Me, trying to not cry, okay, I'll be there now. I put my pizza slice down, take a sip of my Red Bull, and trot off to reception. I spot ED standing at reception, looking absolutely defeated. I put on my best customer service smile and speak in a sickly sweet voice. Hi ma'am, is everything alright? ED, no OP, I am just being told now that I cannot bring my DJ. I stand there, dumbfounded. ED, why was I not told before that I cannot bring a DJ? I've already paid for him, and I don't think I will get my money back as he is already on his way here. Me, ma'am, you never mentioned that you were bringing a DJ? ED, no OP I did. When I did the walk around with RM, I mentioned that I was going to bring a DJ and she said that it was fine. I've wasted more money now. I give a quick glance toward the front office manager, a silent plea. ED, and now FOM is being so rude to me, making me feel like I am stupid, telling me that it's a public area and obviously a DJ would be a problem. I just look at her, nodding. ED, what am I going to do now? I guide her away from reception, explaining that because this is a hotel, we cannot accommodate a DJ in the restaurant, as we have guests that would be disturbed by the music. We have to take our other guests into consideration. She sighs, puts her hand in front of her mouth, and just says, is there any way we can get the DJ here? I tell her that the best I can do is create a playlist for her on our sound system in the restaurant. She accepts this, begrudgingly, and wanders off to her decorating team. I shoot a look to FOM again, and I just see her smirking. I love that woman's no-nonsense attitude. I disappear to my office again, my pizza cold by now, and just frown. I plop down on my chair and shuffle pizza into my mouth, trying to also get as much work done as possible before the start of the event at 4 p.m. so that I can be present on the floor. 4 p.m. rolls around, I am exhausted. Having worked 10 hours already, I just need to stay around for an hour to make sure everything is fine, then I can slip away. CK. We set out 58 plates, 50 guests and 8 children, as was confirmed, and we let the party begin. They are loud. Oh my God. Supervisor 1, Supervisor 2, and myself have to constantly ask for music to be put softer, for them to not scream, that we have guests in the loft area. But this falls on deaf ears. Supervisor 2 eventually said that if they continue to be too loud, we will have to ask them to leave. This finally kicks in. They tone it down. I make sure my staff are okay, that all areas are covered, and have a quick chat with a few guests, and head off for the night. I have accommodation in the hotel as I was placed here on a temporary contract to fix the food and beverage department, to then be transferred to a hotel in the same group in my city, about 4 hours away. I try to relax as much as possible, but knowing I have a proper Karen on my hands, I only stayed away for about an hour. I got dressed in casual clothes and headed back to the restaurant. What I saw nearly gave me a heart attack, that, and the 3 Red Bulls I've already had at that point. There were easily 60 people flocked in the restaurant, not the 50 that were paid for. I walk into the kitchen, and the chefs are visibly panicking. They can't keep up with the amount of food that's being needed to replenish the buffet station. Executive Chef, OP. There are more than 70 people. What is going on? Okay, so I am going to end the story here, as it is already ridiculously long. If this gets enough attention, I will post an update to finish the story with the rest of the night, and also about sour confrontations with the entitled mother, and the entitled daughter and her friend the next morning. Update. I honestly didn't expect this to gain much traction, but who here doesn't love some classic drama? Okay, so after the executive chef was practically pooping her pants, I went to FOM's office with a look that screamed emergency. I told her that there are way too many people here. She calmed me down. I too can be a drama queen, and grabbed 2 cigarettes for us to quickly go smoke. Once we were back inside, we went upstairs to the loft area that overlooks the restaurant. We did a walkabout and did a head count each. She counted 72, I counted 74, but I was absolutely exhausted, so I could have been wrong. She counted again, 72. At that point, FOM was so tired of this woman and her antics, calling her a chance taker, that she just burst out laughing. FOM and I went to her office, on our way, looking for ED so I could discuss the extra attendees. Could not find her at all. It was a themed event and every single person wore white. A sea of fucking snow, almost. I shoot her a text, explaining that we have done a head count and now the additional buffets need to be rung up on her docket, and she needs to pay the balance so that we can settle it on the point of sale. I finally spotted her through the tinted window between the office and reception, phone ever so gracefully lighting up her face. She squinted, stared at her phone some more, whispered to the person next to her, then called Supervisor 2 over to her. Oh boy, here we go. I chat some more with FOM, and Supervisor 2 walks in, almost laughing. S2, OP, ED is asking for you. I grin at FOM and she just wishes me luck. I walk over to our lounge area next to reception where ED is sitting with 3 other ladies. One of which was wearing a big puffy white dress, similar to a wedding dress. Ah, you must be the guest of honor. ED, OP, I'm stressing about this bill now. I was having such a great night, and now I feel it is just spoiled. I look at her holding the check, a nice, fat 24,000 something bucks in bold. I snicker internally to myself. This check was her drinks and all buffets. Mia ma'am, you informed us that you would be attending with 50 guests. We have to charge you for the food that your guests have eaten. Thanks that we always do keep a fair amount of food in the fridge as in case of emergency, because we can just suddenly have a party of 20 people wanting to have lunch on a lastminute.com walk-in. ED, but OP, the point of a buffet is that it's all you can eat. The food ran out so quickly. Me, ma'am, with all due respect, it would run out quicker than expected due to having to cater for over 70 people, instead of 50. We catered for 50 people having at least 2.5 portions each. That's an extra 50-odd portions that were unexpectedly needed. This is where the entitled mother finally steps up. EM, in her big-ass poofy dress, looking down at me, this is not right. My daughter has paid a lot of money and still she is treated poorly. Your service staff are disgustingly rude. That lady, FOM, is so rude and it's just shocking. ED, yes OP, I don't have this kind of money. And with all my money being wasted on the DJ that I could not get here, I will only be able to pay on the 31st, 4 days after her event. My eyes widen a little at the sudden hostility, as I felt I'd been very respectful and have been trying to resolve this amicably. Me, unfortunately you will have to settle the balance before you leave the premises. Whether that be when you check out tomorrow or leave tonight. We cannot allow you off of the property without paying. EM huffs and puffs and says something to her daughter in a language that I do not understand, very common language spoken here, but I am part of the minority that doesn't speak it. I speak to FOM and Supervisor 2 that she needs to sign her bill before she leaves the restaurant. I am mentally drained, and I peace out for the night. Next morning, a new day full of opportunities to resolve the bitterness from last night, a new day full of promising drama. I am up early, get dressed and head for the restaurant. It is super quiet and I make myself the most god-awful cappuccino I have ever made in my life. I get to work, chat with the executive chef, and being typical women, we gossip about the previous night. And always remember, speak of the devil and you shall step on his tail. My office phone rings. It's reception. I giggle as I answer, eager for some drama. But alas, I was not blessed. The security at the main gate gives each guest a slip with a gate code for when they leave. When a guest loses their slip, a senior manager has to escort the guest to the main gate, confirm that the guest has stayed at the hotel, sign their new slip, and off everyone goes. I am so lazy. I refuse to walk the 500m or 600m way to the main gate, so I go to my hotel room, get my car keys, and drive to the main gate. Oh Lord, do I start drooling. It's the wine red colored Mustang GT that FOM and I have been eyeing every time we went to smoke. Just pure chef's kiss perfection. Security lets them out. I wish them a pleasant trip and drive back to the hotel. I forgot my cigarettes in my hotel room that morning, so I informed DC that I'm taking my keys back to my room, grabbing my smokes, and then I want to go smoke. It's nearly 10 a.m. and I need nicotine. On my way to my room, I pass reception. Oh God. There's ED, EM, and Entitled Friend. Entitled Friend spots me, little white lady that's been so accommodating to our every insufferable need, and snaps her fingers at me, beckoning me over like a mutt. I stick on a smile, just desperate to go smoke. Rather wanting to put a fire out with my face than talk to this piece of work. EF, screaming, you need to do something about FOM. She is the rudest person I have ever dealt with. You need to speak to her, teach her how to treat guests. I calmly raise my hands, asking her to please keep her voice down, and to please explain what happened. She practically spits out a repetition of what she just said. I ask to be excused, and slip into FOM's office. She is just smirking. This is what FOM told me happened when I was letting the guest out at the main gate. Receptionist 2 was helping them finalize payments so that they can check out and just leave to be Death Eaters elsewhere. FOM hears a slight commotion start up and goes to the front desk to ask if she can be of assistance. EM, ED, and EF just unleash at her, saying that she must not even speak to them. She's rude, and EF even dared her to come around to this side of the desk, recording FOM and threatening to post our terrible hotel on Twitter. FOM ignored everything after that and stepped back into our office. We contacted the director of operations for our group and explained the whole story. I actually heard him laugh through the earpiece. FOM grabs OD's business card, hands it to me, and asks me to give it to them, to email him directly about all their concerns. When I stepped out to hand it to them, explaining that we have spoken to OD, with a slight smile on my face, EF looks defeated at this point. Taking the card, she sets it down on the counter and just walks away. In the beginning, they tried to pay less for more people, got caught, then still brought more people thereafter. Then it turned to excuses like, oh no, I can't pay, to a flurry of verbal abuse to scare us into dropping the extra charges. After they paid and left, we burst out laughing, wishing, oh so badly, wishing that the hospitality purge thingy could be real. That we get one time a year, that we can pepper spray a guest. Hope you all enjoyed. I so sure did, and we made killer money last night, thanks to EM and ED finally coughing up what they owed us. Do it, don't leave us hanging. Evil. Got me hooked and left me dry, haha. Don't keep me hanging on. So I'm guessing hotel contracts will be rewritten to account for everything that just happened here? Like, initial here to acknowledge that any guests above X number will incur a $$ additional fee per person, or start requiring them to provide a guest list, and names not on it will be bounced, etc. She's at it again. No text to share this time, and Insane Parents doesn't allow text, so sorry if this doesn't belong, but my mom feels entitled to shove her opinion down my throat. I'm in the hospital right now and she came to visit. My grandmother, bless her, thought nothing of let my room number slip. After all, she doesn't have to guard her words with my aunt. She forgets she has to with my mother. Ah well. Either way, Mom came to visit on day 2 during lunch. I was eating a burger. Now, this one believes that all meat now is lab brown, and so she looked down on my burger and sneered at it disapprovingly. Really? A burger? She was pretty happy that the rest of my meal consisted of fruit and vegetables, however. She still did say that fruits and vegetables are grown and in a lab now, and they are trying to put farmers out of business. Sigh. My mother then proceeds to stay a few hours despite my sister telling her she should go, and talks over me when doctors come in, questioning their every decision. Today, however, the called while I was eating dinner and a nurse was in here. This nurse and I share a birthday BTW. Mom is going on and on how she doesn't think my symptoms are from condition, but instead are a side effect of the multitude of meds I'm on. Except I've been on them for years and perfected the dose. She refuses to accept the maybe, just maybe her precious baby girl has just developed another illness at 30 because I'm just so young. Yeah, Mom. They'll the baby down the hall with cancer, she's too young too. You'll cure her right up, I bet. Ban her from your hospital room. In fact, ban her from your life. I can't imagine putting up with this kind of crazy. Too bad there isn't a pill or treatment to shut your mom up. It's a yikes from me. I'm just glad that you're not following in her footsteps. Good on you, and I hope you get better. Get well soon. And is it possible for you to go no contact? EM threatens co-worker, then tries to get me fired. EM, entitled mom. BK, bratty kid. F, father. PB, pretty boy. B, boss. BW, boss's wife. So years ago, I worked at a mom and pop place. It was nice and I loved working there. But anyone who has worked retail can tell you, people suck, but not all people. The store I worked at had parties for the customers pretty regular, and for the most part working there was awesome. Now I had been there long enough to have been warned about this child and its wonderful parents by everyone, including the boss. At the time I was an assistant manager and I took my job pretty seriously. Now there were these leather two couches that sat across from each other with a glass coffee table between them. So BK is jumping up and down on one of the couches, jumping up and down and doing pretty much whatever he wanted. My boss was pretty laid back and never said much to the parents about the child other than please don't do that ECT. I myself have had to ask them to control the child to no avail. So this little turd stain is doing all this, and I overheard PB, my coworker, ask the child to stop jumping up and down on the couches for his own safety. The EMNF are about 5 feet away from this, and the mother overhears PB ask for the jumping to stop. EM turns around and glares at PB. EM, don't you talk to my child like that. If you do that again, I'm going to knock you out. PB doesn't know what to say, so just stands there dumbfounded. F just stands there and says nothing. Now if you've ever met a man who has been so browbeaten he looks dead inside. That's him. I'm about 10 feet away and I turn around facing the mother. I tell PB to go do something, I can't remember what, and he starts to walk away. I proceed to stand in front of him and this thunder cunt and tell her if she so much as laid a hand on him I would knock her out in front of her son and her husband. She proceeds to make idle threats about some bullshit and starts making demands. We were at the tail end of a party and most of us had been at work for longer than 12 hours. I was tired and pissed off. EM, what did you say to me? So repeat myself only louder so I know she can hear me. Me, I told you if you lay a hand on my coworker I am gonna beat your ass in front of your child and your husband. She goes red in the face and tries her best to stare me down. A little about me. I am a Iraqi war veteran who honestly has seen way worse than this hippo and her attitude. So I stare back till she looks away. Now the B and BW are sitting not 2 feet from this whole interaction and are looking at me and this woman, maybe beached whale is better, and don't say a word. EM, how dare you speak to me like this? I am a customer and I am friends with your boss. Me, I don't give a shit who you're friends with, I will still beat your ass. EM, you know what, come here. Me, no I won't. And no, I'm not gonna take commands from you. This night is over and you seem to think you're somehow in charge right now, but let me be crystal clear. You are nothing. Less than that. You are shit. You need to control your spawn or get out. Just who do you think you are? I am a customer and I demand respect. I pay your bills by coming in here, so I deserve it. Me, you don't pay my check and know I have no respect for you. None. You are a waste of space and do not deserve shit. You think you are owed something but are not. I turn my back to her and walk away and check on PB. He seems fine and I walk out to the main room and CB and BW are gone and outside talking EM. A few minutes pass and the fat leaves in a huff. B and BW come back in and tell me she demanded I be fired on the spot and that she deserves to have her way. Now I may not always see eye to eye with my boss, but there is a mutual respect there. I tell them if they want they can fire me, but that is their choice. B and BW look at me and start to bust out laughing, telling me they told her no, they were not gonna fire me, so EM said she would never come back then. And storms off in a huff. Then they tell me they have wanted to do what I did for a while now, but didn't feel like they could. They thank me for saying what I said and for defending my coworker. EP waddles her 5'3" lard body up to veteran. I'm going to beat you up, so heck you. My child gets to jump on your glass tables because he gets good grades. No drill sergeant voice and overuse of maggot? Sad. As a member of the Army Cadet Force, I salute you, my good sir. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.